What does a teacher leader look like? Examining the key elements of what makes a great teacher leader. By David Muller. Competencies. Teacher leaders need to have many abilities and skills to help successfully navigate their fellow staff and teachers through the realm of education. The following 10 competencies were identified by John G. Gabriel in his book, How to Thrive as a Teacher Leader. Principled, honest and ethical, organized, perceptive, empathetic and supportive, altruistic, accessible, resourceful, fair, forward-thinking. We will now take a closer look at each of these competencies and how they benefit the teacher leader's school. Principled. Principled people can be found in every profession. They know right from wrong and refuse to budge from their stance if they know they are being asked to compromise on something that is not for the greater good. Teachers can be threatened in many different ways, just like any other profession. Although many teachers join unions, the unions cannot protect them from everything. Some threats that they are not protected from include lack of administrative support, forced to float classrooms, and constant schedule changes. Despite these dangers, a teacher leader who will not yield to threats and refuse to be silenced are often respected by their fellow teachers. They often earn trust in their building as well as throughout their district. Honest and ethical. Honesty is the best policy. This old phrase holds true today. Many teachers lose a lot of respect if they are caught in a lie. You cannot be caught in a lie if you choose to never lie. Although this may seem quite simple, it is quite easy to fall into the habit of telling little white lies. We must always strive for 100% honesty. To be ethical is to do the right thing. Even if it compromises ourselves, we need to do the right thing. At the end of the day, we need to remind ourselves that what is best for the student is also the ethical choice. Organized. We often imagine organization as cleanliness. The teacher with a spotless room. No papers on their desk, every folder labeled and a photographic memory of where to reach every resource in their room at arm's length. However, organization does not always take on the same form. I have seen teachers with stacks of paper on their desks so high that you would swear they were clueless as to what all the stacks contained. However, if you asked for a certain paper or piece of information, the teacher could easily locate and hand it to you in seconds. Ultimately, organized means that you have a plan or system that works for you. You know where your materials and resources are, and you can keep track of all of your obligations, meetings, conferences, and field trips. No two organization systems look exactly the same. Perceptive. The competency of perceptiveness is a mix between Sherlock-esque observations as well as a sixth sense, or as Gabriel calls it, go with their gut. A teacher leader needs to be adept at gauging their cohort's reactions. When they give a presentation, is the audience finding it favorable, or are they becoming hostile to the ideas being shown? A perceptive leader can avoid hidden minds as well as give support to teachers in need who are afraid to ask for assistance themselves. We often use this skill in our own classroom with our students. Many teachers can quickly identify when one of their students stomp into the classroom in the morning that something is wrong. Whether it was at home, on the bus, or even just in the hallway, we can quickly sense something is wrong and take steps to curtail the bad mood before it gets out of hand. Empathetic and supportive. Empathy is the understanding of others' emotions. Much of the understanding has to come from first-hand experience. Teachers should have a wide array of experiences if they are to be considered for the role of teacher leader. When a teacher asks another for advice, they are more likely to be encouraged by the advice if they hear, "I had the same problem with a student 2 years ago. I tried this and it helped tremendously," rather than, "Huh, that is weird. I've never heard of a student doing that before. I guess you could try this approach." Understanding one's troubles is one thing. However, the teacher leader needs to be supportive and help find a solution to the problem, not just be an open ear. Altruistic. A teacher leader must always be altruistic. If you ask your team for sacrifice and hard work, but they do not see you giving the same or more, they will often turn on you and only give you their bare minimum. Teacher leaders must be mindful of the greater good. They often need to put the good of their cohorts in front of their own good. To avoid self-serving goals can be difficult, but it results in a stronger staff as well as being respected by your peers. Accessible. A leader may see the need for a staff meeting and schedule one. However, if we hide from our peers and cannot be found before or after school, we cannot help them with problems as they arise. Certain problems are best handled immediately. We need to have an open door policy. Our email and phone contacts are well known, and we reply quickly to any inquiries. This can solve many problems and prevent even more troubles. It also improves communication, which is key for a working team. The Teacher Leader Model Standards Number 6, improving outreach and collaboration with families and community, benefits greatly from being accessible. The teacher leader not only needs to be accessible to staff, but to parents as well. Parents and community members need to feel as though their input is welcome and valued. If they can easily reach the teacher leader, they feel much more a part of the school's community. Resourceful. A resourceful teacher can overcome almost any problem. Instead of saying, "I can't," the teacher leader will often say, "How can I solve this problem?" Not enough money? The teacher leader knows the right people to talk to, the right way to write a grant. Angry parent? The teacher leader knows the best way to acknowledge a problem and concerns and comes to a solution that all parties are happy with. The teacher leader is an expert in finding solutions to any type of problem. The Teacher Leader Model Standards 2, accessing and using research to improve practice and student learning, benefits greatly from the resourceful teacher leader. Teacher leaders are very resourceful in finding ways to collect, analyze, and use data to implement new practices. Fair. A teacher leader must always be fair. They must give recognition equally to those who earned it. They must put their prejudices and friendships aside and offer everyone equal opportunities to prove themselves. We also need to remember that equal is not always fair. Fair is giving everyone exactly what they need, not treating everyone exactly the same. This can be challenging for the most veteran teacher leader. Forward thinking. There are reactive people, and then there are proactive people. Reactive people sail along until they hit a problem. Once they hit the problem, they try to find the solution. This is not very efficient and can cause turmoil, while the reactive teacher panics and scrambles to find a solution. It can be compared to a ship captain who has just hit an iceberg. However, a forward-thinking teacher leader continually scans the metaphorical horizon for problems that could arrive. By doing this, they can avoid many problems before they even occur. Lastly, forward thinkers are experimenters. They are willing to try new strategies and ideas. They are not stuck in the past and willing to accept that all best practices have been discovered and need to be followed to a T with no exception. The Teacher Leader Model Standard Number 3, promoting professional learning for continuous improvement, is greatly benefited by forward thinking. Leaders should not react to what is currently being sought after in professional development workshops, such as Kagan, Daily 5, Cafe, but rather be looking for the undiscovered gems before they become well known and be at the forefront of new ideas in the education society. They should be budget conscious, and instead of sending the whole staff to one workshop, have them go to multiple workshops and report back to the staff about what their workshop was about. Vital resources. The teacher leader needs to have an abundance of resources to tackle all situations and problems. We will look closely at the following 5 resources that can be very helpful to the teacher leader: teacher wish list, mentor checklist, email documentation, department meeting minutes, and curriculum maps. Teacher wish lists. We have all been there. We spend our classroom budget money, our PTO gift money, some of our own money, and we still dream about all the supplies, items, and equipment we want in our room. The teacher leader can have teachers fill out a wish list of items. They can then help them by trying to allocate more funds, write grants, or even make them aware of existing supplies hidden away in different storage rooms. Teacher wish lists are also a great way to show your peers that you are interested in their voice and care about their wishes. Mentor checklist. Many schools do not have a system in place for helping new teachers. With the high teacher turnover rate in the first few years, it is essential that new teachers are given guidance and someone that they can trust is helping them in a new endeavor. However, even for the most veteran teacher, a green teacher showing up in their classroom asking for guidance can be somewhat overwhelming. The opposite can be true too. The new teacher may claim to have everything under control, but in reality is too afraid to ask for help. A checklist for the mentor is a wonderful tool. It highlights key points to being a successful mentor: how to build trust and a working relationship with the new teacher, and how to benefit the new teacher and overall their students' learning. Email documentation. Teachers are constantly being scrutinized for every action and inaction. We are brought into courtrooms and asked to account for conversations that may have happened months ago. Unfortunately, we do not all have eidetic memories. Email documentation is a superb resource for the teacher leader. It is the preferred method of communication with parents. If the parent complains that the teacher was unprofessional or insulting in conversation, the teacher can provide the emails to prove his or her innocence. Emails also allow teacher leaders to reflect on pre-conversations and meditate on how they could have handled the situation better. Lastly, it helps them keep track of responsibilities they may have assigned, as well as dates and meetings. Department meeting minutes. Department meetings can seem overwhelming at times. However, it is very beneficial to keep minutes and reflect on the important parts of the meeting. Minutes are great for honing in on the main points of the meeting. They are also an excellent resource to share with your team to keep them informed as to what is happening. Lastly, the teacher leader may not be able to attend all committee meetings, but if they have access to the minutes, they can quickly catch up on what they missed. Curriculum maps. Many school districts suffer from lack of curriculum planning from grade to grade, and even more so from building to building, middle school to high school, elementary to middle school, etc. At the elementary stage, we often face the problems of teachers choosing what lessons they want to teach. By the time students reach 5th grade, they may have been retaught the parts of a plant or the stages of metamorphosis of a butterfly 3 to 4 times. Developing a curriculum map and keeping it handy is a fabulous tool for helping ensure that students are being given new, rigorous content every year. References. Gabrielle, 2005, How to Thrive as a Teacher Leader, Alexandria, Virginia, ASCD.